You know, one of the most rewarding parts of teaching the business side of portrait photography is witnessing the moment of revelation when photographers truly understand their value. Now, it seems like many talk about knowing their value, but it's something that very few photographers ever really reach. We've heard someone else say, charge what you're worth. You've probably said it yourself or thought it. And I think most would agree with that statement. The problem is that the vast majority have no idea what that truly means in a practical sense. In other words, while they agree with the sentiment that photographers should charge what they're worth, even the ones who are saying it do not seem to know how to apply that to their business in any meaningful way. Hey there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm Jim Landers, your host and your guide on the business side. And it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. Now, from Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing, wonderful team are going to make you look like a hero. Now, I don't know if you print yet, but once you have, you're going to love it. And I just realized my camera is not focusing. I'm going to fix that problem real quick and get right back to you because it takes me just a second to fix that problem. There it is. All right. You know how things work. So the Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. But talking about Digital Pro Lab first, because Amanda and her wonderful team are going to make you look like a hero. What they do is print, and they print a whole bunch of stuff, but they do it in a way that makes you look like a hero. They do it in a way that is quick. It is high quality. It's just fantastic. Amanda hires really good people who love what it is that they do. These are career people, not someone who's there today, gone tomorrow. Nope, that's not who she's after. She's after people who love this because she loves you and they love you. If you want to work with a company who's going to pay attention, who's going to care, go to digitalprolab.com. I'll put that up on the screen real quick. Digitalprolab.com and see the difference that Amanda and her amazing team are going to make with your photographs. This show is also sponsored by my company, Landers Photography School. I teach both the photography side and the business side, although I do spend quite a bit more time teaching the business side nowadays. So I want I want to work with people who are open to learning. Now, everybody learns in a different way. Some people can read a manual and understand what a camera is all about. I'm not one of those. Some people can watch a video and think in their mind, I got this. And some of them actually do. Others of them, when they try it, realize I don't. It doesn't diminish the quality of a video. It's very good learning. But everyone learns in different ways. And one of those is through classes. I do both online and in person. Now, if you're not in the San Antonio area, you'd have to fly in to do it in person. All right. But I do online as well, both private and videos. So we can do a Zoom call. And I encourage you to take advantage of going to my calendar and putting yourself on it. That's the link to it that you're seeing on the screen right now. It's Calendly, like calendar, but calendly.com/photo school /15MIN. 15MIN. And that's just a free private session with me to talk about you and your situation. Now, enough about the sponsors. I want you to go to, well, I encourage you to make comments and ask questions throughout the discussion. Just go over to the comment section. You'll see that, and tell me what it is that you're thinking about, or comment, or the things that you've experienced. I want to hear your experiences. I want to hear your questions. And speaking about the comment section, I want you to go there right now and enter in hashtag live. Comment hashtag live. That tells me that you're watching the show right now live today on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to several places. For those who are watching the replay, though, comment hashtag replay. That's hashtag replay. I also request that you share the Portrait Profits show. Click that share button. Let other photographers know about this show. This uplifts everyone. And it's not like you're hiding the information from someone else. That doesn't do you any good. Elevating others is what does you good. So share the Portrait Profits show. You know those epiphany moments? When a single, simple, often insight transforms how you view life, yourself, but in this case, your business. Well, today I'm sharing one of those fundamental truths about portrait photography that changes how many successful photographers understand their business and market their services. I've spent years observing talented photographers who invested thousands in equipment, dedicated countless hours to mastering their photography, built impressive portfolios, yet missed the most valuable connection in working with their ideal clients. I'm going to share with you three things that change everything. And this is a mindset thing. These are mindset things. First, your camera. I know you take pictures with it. I want you to think about it as a different thing. It's an emotion collecting tool, an emotion collecting tool. How about your knowledge of posing, directing, your lighting expertise? These are emotion enhancing tools, emotion enhancing tools. And those amazing portraits you create, well, they're your emotion delivery system. Let me share two powerful observations from my 30 years as a professional portrait photographer. No one ever asked to see my portfolio. No one ever asked to see my degree in photography. Yeah, I have one, and I am proud of it. But if no one knows or asks about it, then it's not a marketing advantage. The thousands of clients that I worked with over time, they hired me because they liked me, or they were referred by someone who liked me. Why? Because portrait photography isn't a logical purchase. It's an emotional purchase. Now, there are times when that might not be the case, such as someone just needs a headshot for work. They might not care, not on the surface, but even still, I think there's an emotional connection to the images when they love your work and being around you. So, in this lesson today, we're exploring the psychology that drives successful, low volume portrait photography businesses. I'm sharing proven strategies that will transform how you market your services and connect with the most ideal clients who recognize the emotional value that you create for them. If this sounds interesting to you, would you do me a favor? Click that like button or go to the comment section and enter in yes. Now, if you haven't already, go to the comment section and enter in hashtag live, telling me that you're watching the show today live. And as always, there's a handout available for this class. Let me put up the QR code. That might be easy to there's the QR code, and I can put it in another spot temporarily. Let's see. We'll put it up there in the far right corner. So I'm going to take that down. in a second. On Instagram, it's blocking my face, so um, won't leave it up there for long. All right, so uh, every every week, I when I do the show, I also have a handout available for you. There's actually oftentimes more in the handout than in the show, just for time purposes. But also, there's sometimes templates. There isn't a template in this particular one, but a lot of times there are, and so it's beneficial to you to get these. Now, I don't charge up front for these. I send it with an invoice for $10. If you remember to pay it, great, pay it. If you don't remember, I don't care. I want the information in your hands. That's more important than anything else. So use that QR code that you're seeing in the top right part of the screen right there for Instagram, and right over there for pretty much everybody else. All right. So, uh, or just send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. Tell me that you want the handout, or in the comments section, enter in hashtag handout. There's several ways to inform me that you're interested in the handout from any of these shows. Chapter 1 of only 3. This is the hidden truth about value. So let's talk about that phrase that we've all heard: charge what you're worth. It sounds empowering, doesn't it? But here's the problem. Unfortunately, it completely misses the mark, because your worth isn't measured in what you think it is. It's not measured in camera gear. It's not measured in your technical expertise. It's not measured in your education. It's not measured in your years of experience. Those are all contributing factors. Let me give you a tip. I'd suggest you write this one down if you're not taking notes already. Your worth is determined not by comparison to other photographers, but by a combination of two main variables. There's a lot of contributing ones, but two main. The first, what you want your ideal life to look like. What do you want your ideal life to look like? What is that? What does it mean to you? Number 2, it isn't what you do, but how what you do is perceived by your ideal clients. Now, I'm going to repeat that one after I take a sip of water. It isn't what you do, but how what you do is perceived by your ideal clients. Think about luxury items for a moment. What does someone pay? Excuse me. Why does someone pay thousands for a designer handbag when a functional one costs less than a tenth of the price? Why does someone choose a luxury car when one that is simply reliable will get them to the same destinations? It isn't logic, it's emotion. Value lies in Value lies entirely in how it's perceived by ideal clients. Value lies entirely in how it's perceived by ideal clients. Portrait photography lives in this space. Nobody needs you to photograph their portrait. In the world of smartphones and selfies, professional portraits are purely a luxury purchase. And you know this one, with AI, you could do an AI headshot much less expensively. Upload a couple of snapshots that you've done with your cell phone, even selfies, and you can get a, a good headshot No. If you're looking from a couple of years ago, and what that quality level was, it was awful. It was, but that's not today. Even a business headshot from a portrait photographer is a luxury item. And that changes everything about how we should think about value. Instead of hiring you for your professional equipment and technical skills, clients hire you because of how you make them feel. Remember this: logic makes people think, but emotion, well, that's what makes them act. I was going to put that on the screen so you could read it. Logic makes people think, but emotion, that's what makes them act. Now, I've got a pro tip. When discussing your services, listen for how potential clients perceive your value. Are they questioning the price? Or have you not yet connected with what they truly value? Here's the hidden truth about value in portrait photography: people don't pay for pictures, they pay for how the entire experience will make them feel. In other words, they pay for emotion. And specifically, they're paying for confidence, for legacy, for pride, and for the memories they anticipate that you'll create for them. So when someone says, charge what you're worth, remember your worth isn't in your gear or your skills, which means stop justifying your price by the fact that you spend a lot on camera gear. Irrelevant. Photographers who do this are either relatively new, but that's not always the case, because I've seen photographers who have been in the business 20, 30 years who are still justifying their price based on camera gear, or simply haven't evolved into this understanding of value. Your worth is in the emotions you create, the moments you preserve, the confidence that you build. That's what ideal clients value. So you need to give it to them. Now, just to be clear, there are a minimum of 4 things that I want you to take away from this first chapter. First, your worth is determined both by you and by the perception of your ideal client. Number 2, portrait photography is a luxury purchase. There shouldn't be any $50 photographers. You are worth way more than that. Number 3, emotions drive buying decisions. Number 4, stop justifying your pricing with the price of your gear. There's no reason to defend your price. Your price causes you to reach the life that you want. It'd be like apologizing for driving, if you're in San Antonio going to Houston, it's apologizing for driving on I-10 or I-90. It's the path that causes you to get to where you need to go. So therefore, there's no apology, no defending your pricing. Now, it takes some steps to get to where you are feeling confident in that. I've outlined some of them already. So now that we understand what people really value, let's talk about how to identify and deliver those emotional elements that make your service truly invaluable. Make sure to click that like button when you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, if you're just joining us, enter in hashtag live in the comments, letting me know that you're watching right here live. I appreciate those who have already done so. Chapter 2. We need to understand what our real product is So, what is your real product? It's not portraits, it's emotion. Let's unpack that. Every purchase decision has an emotional trigger. Think about the last time you bought something you didn't need at all, or you spent more on something than you could have. You could have purchased it for less. What emotion or combination of emotions drove that purchase? Now, I want you to think about your last client that you enjoyed working with. Hopefully, that was your last client. What emotions, or what one emotion maybe, emotion or emotions, drove them to invest in working with you? Here are what I believe to be the five primary emotions that drive portrait purchases. Number one, pride. It may be something like, I want people to see how far I've come. Number two, legacy. Maybe they're thinking, I want to create a visual legacy for posterity. Nah, they're not going to say it that way, but you know what I mean. Maybe they're thinking, I want my kids and their kids to have this memory. Number three, confidence. I need to look as successful as I feel or as I want to be. Number four, love. I want to celebrate our bond. This could be family, couples, friends, self. And joy. Number five, I want to remember this moment. I want to remember this happy time in our lives. Let me give you a pro tip. During your consultations, this is before they've actually signed with you. I want you to listen for emotional keywords and phrases. When someone says, I want to look professional, they're also saying, I want to feel confident. When a parent says, the children are growing up so fast, they're also saying, I'm afraid of losing these precious moments. Building genuine connections starts with understanding these emotional drivers. When a potential client reaches out, they're not just inquiring about prices, they're sharing their emotional needs. You need to listen for them. They're not direct most of the time. Your response should acknowledge and validate those emotions. I want to share with you a revelation that changed my business years ago, and a revelation that I had. Clients don't just refer you because you created beautiful portraits. Yes, that is an important variable. But even more so, they refer you because of the belief that the entire experience made them feel good. Think about that for a moment. Your real product isn't just the final portraits. It's not just the emotion in the final portraits. It's the emotional journey prior to the first contact all the way to final delivery. And you know what? Beyond that as well. Remember this: technical excellence is expected, emotional excellence is remembered. I'm going to repeat that. Technical excellence. I was thinking maybe I printed that out so you could read it, but I don't have it. All right, that's fine. Technical excellence is expected. Emotional excellence is remembered. Let me give you a pro tip. After each client interaction, ask yourself, What emotion did I create or validate? This understanding transforms how you approach every aspect of your business. Your website isn't just showcasing portraits, it's promising the emotional fulfillment your ideal client wants and deserves. Your consultation isn't just discussing your services, it's exploring emotional needs. Your delivery isn't just presenting portraits, it's celebrating emotional moments. Let me give you 5 takeaways from this second chapter of 3. Emotion is your product. That's the first. The second, the 5 primary emotional drivers are, let me put that up on the screen. I do have that printed out. There. The 5 primary emotional drivers are pride, legacy, confidence, love, and joy. I want you to listen for emotional keywords during all interactions with your client, from the beginning to after you're done, everything in between. Your product includes the entire client experience that they have with you. It isn't just the result. And one more time, technical excellence is expected. Technical excellence is expected. Emotional excellence is remembered. Now that we understand our real product is emotion, let's explore how to transform our marketing to reflect this truth. Guys, if this is resonating with you, will you click the like button for me? Or will you go to the comment section and just enter in the word yes, or maybe share an experience that you've had? I also want to remind you, if you want today's handout, just let me know. There's a QR code up in the top right corner. There is, uh, you can send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com, or just enter in hashtag handout, whatever you need. And if you need any help with the suggestions that I'm giving you today or something else business related, my private coaching sessions can help you choose and implement the right tools for your business. I'll put that URL up one more time just in case you didn't get it before. But I want to move on to the next section, chapter 3, transforming your marketing. Remember when we talked about your worth from your client's point of view being determined by perception? Here's what that understanding transforms. Here's where that understanding transforms everything about your marketing. Most portrait photographers market like this mindset that I'm about to share with you: professional quality, years of experience, state of the art equipment. Sound familiar? But now you know better. You understand what your ideal clients really value. Let me give you some homework. I want you to replace every technical feature in your marketing message with an emotional benefit. Instead of something like, I used advanced lighting techniques or tools, try, I create portraits that radiate confidence. Now you're going to change those words based on your ideal client and what it is they're motivated by. But that's one option. How about instead of, I photograph with the latest camera system, try portraits that glow with your family's love. There's some more common marketing phrases. Go from high resolution digital files to memories that will move your loved ones to tears. By the way, you may be thinking, don't ever use the words that I'm telling you, high resolution digital files. Not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying in the part where you need to reach them emotionally. That's first. Your website, uh, your social media posting, before you've had an opportunity to connect with them, to be able to talk with them, you need to be able to connect with them emotionally before that. Because if you're doing it right, your clients are sold before they've ever reached out to you. And that's when you're going to be talking about the details. I'll come back to that. Go from professional retouching to portraits that makes you feel as amazing as you truly are, or X number of years experience to creating cherished family legacies. Remember this, marketing isn't about telling people what you do. It's about showing them how they'll feel when they get to work with you. I'll repeat that one more time. Marketing isn't about telling people what you do. It's about showing them how they'll feel when they get to work with you. There's a time for telling them what you do. I'm not saying you need to eliminate all those things entirely. I'm saying that your priority is to get them to love what they believe you can do for them. Your website should be an emotional journey. Your social media shouldn't just show portraits, it should tell emotional stories. Your consultation process shouldn't just explain your services, it should validate their emotions. Here's a thought. After every complete client experience, meaning you're done, the images have been delivered. You've completed the entire process. Ask for specific emotional feedback, such as, how do these portraits make you feel? The responses you get are going to become some of the most powerful marketing messages that you can use. Think about the most successful luxury brands. I'm going to name some that are popular luxury brands because they're known. Everybody recognizes these names. They don't sell products, they sell how the product makes you feel. So, how about Rolls Royce? They don't sell cars, they sell arrival in the form of exclusive lifestyle, prestige, and a symbol of status. Tiffany doesn't sell jewelry, they sell moments in the form of status and romance. The Ritz Carlton doesn't sell hotel rooms, they sell an experience of being truly valued and pampered. And Rolex? Come on, they don't sell watches. They sell the appearance of achievement and the recognition of success. And you don't sell portraits. You sell the emotions of pride, love, joy, confidence, and the legacy that will be cherished for generations. So, what's the beauty of emotional marketing? It attracts clients who value you. They're not price shopping because they're investing in how you make them feel. So if you are feeling that the market is saturated, it just is an indicator that you've got some room to grow in your marketing. That's what it is an indicator of. The market's not saturated. It's not. It's just an indication that there's room for improvement in your marketing. You have something remarkable to offer. You create emotional photographs that become personal and family treasures. Repeat that. You create emotional photographs that become personal and family treasures. You preserve feelings that become personal legacies. That's not just marketing, it's almost magic. Now, let me address some common concerns. Many photographers that I've shared this information with before are concerned that moving away from technical marketing means hiding their expertise. Mm-mm. Opposite's true because your technical excellence is what supports your emotional delivery. Think of a luxury car. The engineering exists to help deliver the feeling. Let's talk about your emotional value proposition. I don't talk about this very often, but I have talked about it many times in the Portrait Profit show. The emotional value proposition. Now, depending on who you're listening to, you may just hear EVP. It's popular enough to have a acronym. So EVP, emotional value proposition. This is the unique emotional experience you promise and deliver. So you may be thinking, okay, how do I write that? How do I identify my EVP? List the emotions your past clients have expressed. Just make a list of them. Which emotional responses felt the most natural to you? Not forced, not pushed, not a one time thing, your norm. I want you to identify where these intersect. That's your EVP sweet spot. Emotional value proposition. Let's talk about price objections. When someone says, that's expensive, they're really saying one of two things. I don't see the value, which is an emotional disconnect. It could be, I can't afford this, which is a genuine budget constraint, or at least it can be. For emotional disconnects, revisit their core emotional considerations. For budget constraints, you have to maintain your emotional value, but where possible, you might offer appropriate options. In a general sense, I can't give advice on that, but in a specific sense, I absolutely do give advice on that. I'm going to give you a checklist of things that I want you to start today. The first, review your website. I want you to highlight and replace technical features. The second, write down 5 emotional client stories. Now, emotional doesn't mean they're crying their heads off and you're consoling them. They may be crying tears of joy, but it's just how they feel. Emotion is just feelings about your work. I want you to share those stories. Now, you may think, I can't come up with 5. Don't worry about that. Write down what you can, and then leave a space open on your notes so that you can, as it comes to you, write it down. Number 3 of your start today checklist, create your EVP statement. Number 4, practice emotional response to inquiries. Too often, when someone says a price is too high, we move into defense. You're doing it wrong. Don't defend. It may mean it may indicate that there's some work that needs to be done so that you can get to the point where you're not defending, and it often does mean that. But practice emotional response to inquiries. Number 5, plan one social post around emotion and post it. Now, I recommend that you automate your posting, that you have it set up into a system. If you don't have that, just do this one single one just because. But I recommend that you have a system, a plan for this kind of thing. If nothing else, here are 5 things I hope you take away from this chapter. The first is transform technical features into emotional benefits. The second, marketing should focus on feelings, not specifications. Number three, model successful luxury brand strategies. Number four, build emotional connections at every touch point. Number five, emotional marketing attracts the ideal clients you want because they are the ones who value what you offer them most. Your success isn't about creating beautiful portraits. It's also about creating beautiful feelings. I think you know that. You know what? We're almost done. Just the closing thoughts are left. So take a moment to put in the comments one takeaway, one thought, one experience maybe that you've had, or you could just say thanks, Jim. But take a moment to write something in the comments. Closing thoughts. I hope you consider this lesson to be a great step on your incredible journey. From understanding the true meaning of your worth to discovering that your real product is emotion. But knowing isn't enough. It's time right now to take action. Think about this. Every day, potential clients are looking for someone who understands what they want. They don't understand the technical stuff. It's not what they do every day. That's what you do every day. It's not just the portraits. It's the confidence, the pride, and the joy that comes from working with the right photographer. That right photographer could be you. And armed with what you gained from this lesson, it will be you. Remember when I said no one ever asked to see my portfolio? That's because they were too busy feeling the connection, feeling understood, feeling valued. You have the same power I do. I'm not special. If anything, I'm very average. You have the same power that I do to create both amazing portraits and meaningful emotional experiences. Start small, but start today. Take one piece of your marketing and transform it from technical to emotional, and watch what happens. Feel the difference in your consultations. See the change in your client's eyes. Notice it in the way they respond to you. You're not just any portrait photographer. You're a creator of confidence, a builder of memories, a keeper of joy. Own that truth. And one last point. You're not necessarily changing what you do. You're changing how you share what you do. Your magic has always been there. Now you know how to let it shine. Reach out to me if you want to have your business grow. This is what I do full time. I do very little photography anymore. I've got clients that still call me and I love working with them. So yeah, I do take on jobs sometimes, but usually just people I've worked with many times over the years. I help photographers full time. And I encourage you to reach out to me because there's not a single person out there who can't use a little help. And here I am offering it. And some of you won't take me up on it. Who knows why? Maybe you have an excuse. You might call it a reason. Still an excuse. I recommend that you take advantage of this, and you can't say I can't afford it because I don't charge for it. Go to my calendar, calendly.com/photoschool /15MIN. I want to thank you, Lens Legends. Please take a moment to like, to share, and I invite you to join me next week on Monday at noon for another Portrait Profits live stream show. Today's lesson wasn't just some grouping of ideas. You got some signs on your roadmap to stronger client connections and a more fulfilling career, all leading to your ideal life. Remember, you're not just changing your marketing, you're elevating your entire business approach. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, host of the Portrait Profit Show, where we ignite passion and transform photography businesses. Until next week, Lens Legends, keep creating those powerful emotional connections that transform both you, and your clients' lives. I look forward to watching you grow. You guys rock. I appreciate you. Bye for now.